Hi, welcome. In this video I'd like to explain to you about the snapping feature in SharpCam. So what is snapping? Well, snapping basically is a way of acquiring a point value from an existing object. So for example, if we were drawing a line, we could use the existing point, say the end or midpoint of another line to form the start or end point of this line we're trying to create. So the best thing is for me is just to go ahead and give you a demonstration. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the line command. So rather than keying in the start point of the line and then the end point of the line, we're going to be using points from existing lines and arcs or circles to generate these points, and that means that we are snapping to the lines or arcs. So I'm just going to pop down a random line to start with. Now if I move the mouse near to the line, the first thing that happens is the line highlights in orange, let you know that you're near it, and that's the line that is producing the snap. And then we've got a blue square, and that's called a snap marker. If I was to left click the mouse, that's where the start of the line will be formed from. And also for good measure, the cursor changes colour and shape to indicate that it's snapping at the end. And if I move the cursor along, as we get near to the middle, you see it's now got a snap marker near to the middle. Because we're nearer to the middle now than the end, it's already in fact decided that that's where the snap point can be. Just as a point of interest, I'm in what we call multi-snap mode now, and this means it's going to be looking for all the snaps it can in context of what you're doing. If everything is getting a little bit busy, there's too many snaps going on, we can go and choose individual snaps, and I'll be showing you that a little bit later. So if I'm just going to turn that off for the time being, I'll describe that to you in a minute. So as I move away from the centre, and as we get near to the end, you'll see that now the snap marker snaps to the end. So if I left click now, it's now started the line, so you can see over here that these endpoints, or the start point of the line, was extracted from the endpoint of this line. It now wants the end of the line, and again we can now either key in a value or we can snap to another line or arc or circle. There aren't any more, but what I will just show you whilst we're now getting the end of a line, if I move this cursor near to a point which is perpendicular to the line, can you see what happens? The snap, there's a blue snap marker and a snap perpendicular from a cursor icon is being displayed, and the origin or the line that the snap is originated from is highlighted. So that would be exactly 90 degrees to that line. There'd also be another snap perpendicular from there. Okay, you can see that, and you could also choose the if you just wanted to do snap from perpendicular, you could choose that, but multi-snap is pretty good. It does most of what you want it to do. So I can left click that, and you can see now that's a line exactly at 90 degrees to the one that the start point was formed from. And I could draw a line from the centre, so left click there, and that's now coming from the centre. I might want to put it on the end of that one or the midpoint. So okay, so I think you get the idea. Just want to, before I move on, I want to show you this feature here, snap orthogonal, which is active at the moment. If I put the start point of the line down there, this enables us to draw horizontal and vertical lines. It only works on when we're trying to get the end point of a line. So if I move this near to horizontal, you see we get a blue snap marker to indicate where the line endpoint will be if I was to left click, and also the cursor's changed to indicate that. So we'll be able to do this at all the 0, 90, 270 and 180 degrees. Okay, now let me just show you this inline snapping. So if I activate that now, what inline snapping does basically, at the moment, if I'm just circling the cursor around these three lines, nothing's happening. But if I go and wake one point up, now I've moved over there, so that's woken up. Now, as you can see, it's finding, and it's also finding one of the line down the bottom there, but it's now looking for inline snapping. So for instance, that, if I left click now, the start of that line would be directly in line with the start of the line that's been highlighted. So if I left click now, you can see, I could perhaps do it in line with that. And also what will work now is the actual orthogonal snapping will work in conjunction with the inline. You can see that it's now going to snap vertically and in line, and the cursor has changed to indicate that. So if I left click now, yeah, so that line is vertical and the endpoint is directly in line with this line here. I mean, I could also weight that up, and you can see it's going to look for the intersection of both. Yeah, the start and endpoint of that line, it's found the intersection, I can left click there. So this inline snapping is typically found on high-end CAD systems. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the inline snapping now. So I'm going to show you intersection snapping now. So I'm just going to delete a couple of these, some of these lines now. So delete, and then just draw a line that intersects that line there. So again, snapping will look for intersection points, and there we go, it's found the intersection points of those two lines, and they've both been highlighted to indicate that. I mean, this could be working with arcs and circles, there's no differentiation between them. So as I move down here, all the other snaps are still there because we're in multi-snap. Let me just draw a line here. Okay, now this is the intersection point now. On this, the intersection point was on these two lines, but on this one here, the intersection point is off the end of this line here. If this is the case, we need to wake this point up first by touching it, so that's now woken up. And now, as you can see, it's now will look for the intersection point with that line and this line. That's really, if it was looking for it everywhere and there was many lines, it could be just a massive intersection even with elements off the screen. So you have to wake the point up. So let me just draw a new line so that clears the woken up lines. So see, it's not working. Another thing you can do is hold down the control key, and that actually looks for any intersection point. In fact, you can see that one there. So you've got two choices. You can either hold the control key down or just wake the point up when you want to find the intersection. So there you go, I've let go of the control key now and it can't find it. So if I wanted to find the intersection point of this one, I've got to wake it up. There you go, there's also one with that one. Now if you want to find the intersection point, if it is off the end of both lines, for example, let's just select all and delete that. If I draw a line here and draw a line here, just one thing with SharpCam, I've got a little saying, you can do what you want when you want. So I'm drawing the end of a line. Let me save this part now onto the desktop. Use the default name, part 1 save. If you notice, hasn't kicked me out. I'm still drawing the line. So I can click, so clearly I can now click save and it's just updating the stored file. So it'll never kick you out. And in fact, you can even undo. It hasn't kicked me out of drawing the line mode. So that's quite an interesting feature. So I'm just going to put down the end of this line here. Now if I want to draw a line that's at the intersection point of these two, the multi-snap won't work. I can't find it. So in this instance we have to choose the snap intersection purposefully and then click the first one, click the second one, and then that's found the intersection point. And lastly with the lines, I'd just like to show you snap parallel. So let's draw a start of a line there and choose parallel, and it just wants us to select a line to be parallel to. So let's just click this one here, and now as you can see, as I move the mouse, the line is being drawn parallel, and I just left click to accept where I want the endpoint to be. So that just about wraps up intersections involving lines. Let's have a look at some arcs. So I'm going to select all with a Control A and then delete. So let's draw a circle down first. So I'm going to choose circle, center and radius. Let's have a radius of 50. I'm just going to put that down anywhere. Let's have a radius of 75, down over there. So let's draw a line now. So now on a circle, and again, this is actually all applicable to arcs, we have a quadrant point. So this will be looking for quadrant points only. Okay, so you can see the snap marker and the quadrant cursor symbol. Likewise over here. And then if we want to draw a line from the center of the arc, we mustn't be at a quadrant point. In fact, this is the start and end point. It mustn't be at a quadrant point or the start or end, but we're actually away from those 2 points. But on the inside of the circle, can you see we've got a snap marker in the middle of the circle and the cursor's changed. Then if I move to the outside of the arc, can you see it's changed? So outside of the circle, it's changed to a tangent symbol. So this is how we differentiate between center and tangent, and it just means that you can use multi-snap and you're not having to constantly go up here and say, I want to specifically do snap to tangent or snap to center. So let's draw a line tangential between this circle and this circle. So move the cursor near to where the tangent point is going to start, but on the outside of the circle and not near a quadrant point. So if I left click now, you can see that it's now drawing a tangent from that circle. We're now going to draw the tangent to this circle. There's going to be 2 tangent points on here. Now, inside or outside doesn't matter. If it's not near a quadrant point, it's going to be the centre. But it's around here, there, can you see it's found the tangent point there, and moving away from that is the centre, and there'll be the quadrant point there. And likewise, there'll be a tangent there. There's a second tangent point. There can only be 2 tangent points. So we want this one, so we're going to left click there. So that's the tangent. And I want to move near here, but still on the outside. So left click, yeah. And then there's a tangent point there. And if I want it on the centre, then move it, bias it towards the middle, and you can see, I can't do that, but you can see that the centre of the circle has got a snap marker there. But I want the tangent point, so there it is. So left click, and that's a simple way of drawing tangent lines. We can also draw a tangent line going to a circle from a point. So let's just click down and then move, and there you go. There's a tangent point there. Let's do another one from there, and there'll be a tangent point. There you go. And like I say, the same thing applies to arcs. So let's select all and delete. So let's just draw a 3-point arc. Like that. And draw another one there. Choose a line command. So again, we'll have a tangent from there, and it will in fact roll off the end of the arc, as you can see, and there'll be a tangent point there. So from there, now that's not going to work because it's not come round enough, so let's just stick that on in the centre. Okay, so that's pretty much the snapping feature within SharpCam, and thank you very much for watching this video.